Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thanks again for joining me here. I hope you're having a phenomenal day. Quick look again at Solana. This is looking pretty fortunate. This is really good. Most of the market's responding very well to Bitcoin hitting that 58K mark, breaking through that 56.5 resistance. So we're going to talk a little bit about this play out here, as well as potential adjustments we need to make for the future reference here. Because again, when it comes to the current trend, we don't want to get super crazy and just recognize that we're not out of the woods yet, but we're breaking a lot of barriers here, for lack of better terms. Just note, Bitcoin can pull back. We got to see that connection between Bitcoin and other coins, altcoins, specifically Solana, and how how they respond together. Because Solana is 2xing Bitcoin right now to an extent, but it has also been known to 2x Bitcoin to the downside as well. So we want to see if there's a decoupling, so to speak, and recognize that. So if you're new to the channel, welcome aboard. Hit the like button if you could, please help grow the channel. Make sure you join us over here at BitUnix, phenomenal exchange, excellent rewards. Use my link to register. Highly recommend utilizing them. They are phenomenal, and they've been really good to us. Thank you. If you are in a restricted country, Canada, UK, US, handful of other countries, be sure to check them out. I think they're worth your while. So this is the Solana in the last 7 days. We can kind of see there is not a lot of liquidation minus what's already occurred at the 136 and 138. Not much is left. Okay, we got some late shorts at 145. That does kind of make sense, considering that's somewhat of a more recent resistance range. It's common for those levels to occur at recent highs. Okay, because again, we truly haven't broken free from this barrier at 143, 142. So there's that. It's also a 0.618 fib level. We got to recognize that most people are going to short into that golden pocket type of setting. Okay, so simply put, 0.618 is common retracement level. The price action will usually reject off of that range because there is that 0.65 little area there between those two that we carry the most support and resistance. Why is that the case? Well, it's just coincidentally an area in which the price action will recover to or respond, to pull back to, essentially, depending on the direction. And it's important to recognize that that's just kind of a consistent thing in trading. Let's quickly note the monthly, though. I just want to clarify, see if Solana has anything on the monthly, and recognize that there's not a lot of liquidation either here. I mean, there is a concentration roughly at 155, 156. That's a ways away. That's a very, very important level for us to break in order to get back on track. Between now and then, let's talk about the daily time frame and just kind of recognize that while we're over the 20-day SMA and the 200, tentatively for today, this is an awesome start. We're still not above this descending trend line and or the 50-day SMA. So while it is nice to be able to maintain this level and hopefully hold above this range, we still got to get through this recent point of control at 147/148. And we have to establish a higher high and a higher low between now and then. This is a case in point where we could very well see the price action perform the same and continue lower. So try not to get too ahead of yourselves here. I think an area of consideration for a short would be 147 to 148. Just throwing it out there because that is, again, the most recent point of control. However, we are approaching 50 on the RSI. Getting above that would be very nice. Stochastic is trying to swing up here, and we got a MACD convergence, basically an MACD FU. That is a good sign altogether. So the daily time frame is fairly bullish, and we want to just recognize that it's looking pretty good. I'm just kind of throwing those other caveats out there so you can make an informed decision depending on the direction you're planning to trade. Because again, this little range here that we talked about previously, as low as 130 upwards of 148, we have a lot of volume in that range. Okay, and as you know what volume does, it creates support and resistances. That's exactly why liquidation events occur above and below those levels. Having said all that, if we can see here on the 4-hour time frame, we can see stochastic is trying to swing down. Most coins are doing this, same thing with Bitcoin. It's basically just letting us know that this more recent trend should be coming to an end shortly. Okay. We got money flow index very high, though. Most coins are seeing the same thing. That generally implies favorability to the upside and not to try to short into it because there's money backing this movement up, right? It's essentially a validation of the fact that the price is moving in the direction it's supposed to with good reason because there's people actually buying. It's not just a false positive with, price movement and low volume. It's high volume and price movement. It leads to more sustainability, okay? So the likelihood of Solana staying in this range is higher because of that. Having said that, though, we do see that we're over 50 on the RSI. MACD is converging. Minus stochastic RSI, there's no reason to expect the price to pull back. Okay. And again, when I say shorting Solana at 147, 148, that's just a tried and true resistance level. If we make it to that level, there's a solid chance we will see a pullback there initially as a first attempt to break through that range. Looking at TD sequential on the hourly, we can see we've gotten some nice resets here. So this is actually not too bad. Definitely looking pretty solid in the overall sense. Mind you, this playout chart I sent out yesterday, it didn't actually do what we wanted it to do, which is perfectly fine. I missed out on some opportunity there, but the simple way to understand it is it rejected perfectly off 0.5, retested and broke through there, and again came back down for a nice little support bounce. So this is moving very nicely within the fib levels. If we do take a look at Ichimoku cloud, we can kind of see here that we're above the cloud, conversion lines over the baseline, lagging spans free and clear. So we pretty much have bullish qualities on the hourly and the 4-hour time frame for Solana. The only thing holding us back is just that resistance range at 148 and the descending trend line not being above the 50-day SMA on the daily. Those are important things I like to trade into or trade with before I take a trade confidently. Not to say I'm not confident here. In fact, Solana was one of my coins I was planning to take a trade with yesterday. We instead opted in for a Polkadot trade, which ended up giving us a good 32% in 16 hours. If you want to know where I came to that conclusion, the inverse head and shoulders pattern was a pretty nice little pattern. We also got a QNT short a couple of days ago when everything was dumping too. So we've been getting some skin in the game there, folks, but again, not a ton, because we're trying to be careful and not over leverage and not over position ourselves. A lot of people can do that right now, so just be careful. If you're in profit on like multiple trades right now, move your stop loss higher. Don't get super greedy. It's not a greedy market. It's a market that will take more often than it gives. So you got to take more often than you give, right? That's the whole concept. Okay. Anyways, that's all I got here for us here, folks. Simply put, I would recommend considering securing profits soon in the 146 to 148 range, just to be on the safe side. It's not a lot of liquidation left. It would make sense for the price to pull back to the more recent support range here, which is this 133 to 137 mark. So if I'm going to look for a long for our second or third impulse wave, I would say that the 0.5 fib level, 138, would be a solid consideration for entry if we get that price to pull back that level. Last thing you want to do here, of course, is join us on Twitter, Telegram, Discord, YouTube. We also have TikTok and YouTube Shorts as well. So if that's your thing, check it on out. We got almost 10,000 views on one of our recent videos. Pretty awesome stuff. So thank you to those who are subscribing and watching and liking and all that. And if you aren't, that's cool too. Just learn what you can, and hope to see you in the next one. Thanks again for your time. Have a great rest of your day. Take care.